Welcome to Christus Publishers TV on YouTube. On this episode of Christus Publishers Stories, we present amazing short stories by Olamide Ojo.
This story is titled Super Eternal Transformation, or short for SET. Chapter 1, Altar Call. Vick Scaner sat on the porch by his television asking himself,
"Is it better to have loved and lost than to not have love at all?"
He could not answer that question amid his present situation.
Barbara was the only girl for me, and she left me at the altar for my friend.
Vick complained in distraught. Vick was a 35-year-old, 5 foot and 6 inches, overweight sales manager at a car company. His girlfriend, Barbara, had been cheating on him for the past 5 years that they had been together. Furthermore, she was controlling and always maltreated Vick. He was infatuated with Barbara. He overlooked a lot of tells that Barbara was not committed to the relationship. She always made excuses as to why she could not make several of their mutually planned dates. Vick always thought she traveled a lot for her job. She was the secretary to Vick's best friend, Leroy. It was a job that Vick had helped her get. Although Vick had a feeling that Leroy and Barbara might be having a fling, he convinced himself otherwise and decided he was paranoid. It was not until the day of their wedding, 2 weeks ago, when he was left at the altar, that he realized he should have addressed his concern in a more serious manner. Vick, who had been friends with Leroy longer than he had been with Barbara, was depressed beyond words. He watched his once beloved girlfriend, Barbara, run away with his one of few friends, Leroy. When the heartbroken man asked why she did such a thing to him, all she could say was,
Leroy is more of a man than you could ever be.
Those words have been ringing in Vick's head for the past 2 weeks since the incident. All he did since that time was drink and eat, thereby making him gain 20 more pounds to his already overweight body of 250.
Hey Vick, are you in there?
This is Eric from work.
Vick's coworker said. Vick did not move an inch from where he sat. He barely heard his doorbell ringing. He had been sitting in the same spot for the last 2 weeks, getting up only to get food from his freezer and to order from Thai and Chinese restaurants. Vick still had on a shirt and trouser from his never-happened wedding.
Hi Vick. I let myself in. The door was open. Damn. Dude, you stink as hell, man.
Eric, Vick's coworker, could barely finish his words because of the stench he perceived as he entered Vick's 2-bedroom apartment. Vick remained quiet as he stared at the television. He hadn't changed since he sat on his couch. Eric noticed the takeout plates all around Vick's already messed up apartment. Eric, who was a tall and nice-looking Latin American man, said, as he was trying to comfort his co-worker. Dejected Vick was surprised at Eric's behavior because they had just recently started talking.
Hey man, you would not feel any better if you lock yourself up in this place.
Eric said, looking around before he finished his words.
Come on, let's go out tonight. You, me, and some big booties all up in our faces all night, bro.
Vick's reactions were as if he hadn't heard a word Eric had said, but he nodded his head and got up and headed towards his room.
Holy shit, dude, even ass smells better than you right now, man. Damn!
Eric exclaimed, with a horrific look as soon as Vick got up. Vick did not care because he was not listening. His ex-words still rang in his head as he walked to his bathroom. He took off his clothes, looked at himself in the mirror with tears rolling down his face.
At least I got my hair.
Whispering his first words since the incident. He then looked at himself and noticed his hair receding.
Fuck.
He muttered.
Fuck.
He said louder than the first time. Afterwards, Vick had a brief moment of silence with fast, angry breathtaking.
Oh! Shit! Shit! Fuck! Ow!
Vick screamed as he punched the mirror angrily and repetitively. Eric rushed into the room and tried to calm him down. After several minutes of episodic freakouts, Vick calmed down.
I am sorry you had to see that.
Vick said.
Thank you.
The only thing I am sorry about is looking at your fat ass in that. Holy shit, dude.
Vick had forgotten about the women's underwear he had on. Vick's thought went back to his intentions for wearing a bikini to get a big laugh out of it on their honeymoon that never happened. He couldn't admit this, but he also wore the underwear because he wanted to fulfill a sexual fantasy that they always dreamt about.
Oh shit, I forgot all about that.
Vick said. Eric shrugged in disgust and continued.
Look, man, I know some messed up things just happened to you in recent times.
Eric said.
And I can't tell you I know how you feel, 'cause I don't. But what I do know right now is you have got to pull your shit together and move the fuck on. You feel me, bro?
You suck at this cheering thing.
Vick said.
Yeah, I know.
But thanks. You are right. I need to.
Dude, we can finish this conversation in a more appropriate manner.
Eric interrupted.
Get cleaned up. I will be waiting outside.
Chapter 2. Getting over Barbara. In the process of taking a shower and getting dressed up, Vick thought of Barbara and his former best friend, Leroy. As much as he tried to not think about it, he kept seeing the images of Barbara and Leroy having sex. His anger and sadness grew strong because of it. Vick joined Eric outside. At the first glance from Eric, Vick could tell that he did not like his outfit.
Well, at least it is an improvement. Come on, let's roll.
You know, I thought maybe I shouldn't do this now. I need time to get over my recent crisis, and I will be ready.
Vick said, in his attempt to not go into the club.
Man, shut your ass up. So you want to go back up and stink up the whole place and get fat some more? You are going to feel better as soon as you get something to drink. It might be temporary. You will feel better, I promise.
Dude, you know I don't drink.
Vick said.
Why the fuck not?
It's bad for you. You know, health-wise.
You eat greasy food like there is no tomorrow, and you complain about drinking being bad for you? You are a freaking living oxymoron.
Oh, look who is using big words with his big mouth.
Vick defended.
Really, that's your comeback? Just let me do the talking at the club, okay?
Eric shook his head as they walked into the club. Vick hasn't been to the club in a very long time. His view was that since he had Barbara, he didn't need to go to a club. Barbara didn't think the same way because she went to the club almost every night.
Dude, snap out of it. You look like you are miles away.
Vick begins to notice the gyrating crowd.
Hey, look at that.
Eric said, excitingly referring to the two females sitting by the bar.
I don't know, man, they look all right.
Dude, all you have to do is just follow me. Don't say a word.
Eric said, as they began to walk towards the girls.
Do not utter a word.
Okay. I heard you the first time.
Vick was not comfortable with the whole situation and just wanted to get home.
Oh, one more thing. On my signal, I want you to say exactly these words. I think it is my fault for loving her too much.
Why would?
Just go with it, dude. I promise you will not be disappointed.
Fine.
Vick agreed reluctantly.
Hey, bro, can you give these two beautiful, beautiful ladies another glass of what has the pleasure of touching those gorgeous lips?
Vick watched as the ladies got excited and flattered by Eric's words. Vick felt like a dumbass just standing there smiling because they paid him no attention. The flattery went on for a while. Vick sat at one end while Eric sat in between the ladies. The ladies' attention was on Eric. Vick began to look around the club when all of a sudden his eyes locked onto a girl. She was sitting by the very end of the bar. He watched as men tried to talk to her, but all she did was completely ignore them. Focusing on her drink. Vick thought she was stunning. Unknowing to himself, this was the first time he had thought about any girl other than Barbara in a long time. He just stared at her until she looked his way. He immediately looked away.
So girls, may I introduce you to my splendid friend, Vick. His longtime girlfriend just left him at the altar with his best friend.
Vick was surprised that Eric would say such a thing in such pity-grabbing dramatic manner. He wanted to leave in utter embarrassment, but the lady's reaction stopped him because one of them immediately threw herself at him and gave him a very close hug.
OMG, I am so sorry to hear that.
One of the girls said. Eric then nodded his head fast to give Vick a sign to encourage him to continue with the pity party session.
Oh, I think it was my fault for loving her too much.
Vick said. To his surprise, the girl began to kiss him, right before she gave an overwhelming pitiful sound.
Come on, baby, I have something that will make you feel much better.
The girl says. She then grabbed his hands and pulled him away. As the girl dragged him away, Vick took a quick glance towards the corner. At the end of the bar, where he saw the lady that distracted him earlier, was just an empty seat now. At the end of that night, Vick decided he liked pity sex. He left the girl's house as soon as she started to fall asleep. Vick was somewhat proud that he did not know her name. Vick had never felt that better sexually in a long time. On his way home, Vick got a call from Eric.
Yo, Foo, how did it go, man?
Well, we had sex. Hey, thanks for everything, man. You are a good friend.
For sure, man. That's what we do. So see you at work later?
Yeah, I will be there.
All right, I am glad you tapped some ass.
Eric said, laughing. Vick was surprised at how Eric had been helping him. Vick thought he was wrong to have only thought of Eric only as co-workers, although he had stolen a lot of his customers on several occasions.
Hey, one more thing. About the whole bikini thing, let's keep that to ourselves, shall we?
Vick asked, hoping that Eric will agree to shut his mouth up. Something he was not known for.
Hell fucking no. Ha ha.
Those were the last words from Eric as he cut the phone. Several days passed. Vick was doing better and getting over his past plight. It has been his 7th day going to work straight. To Vick's surprise, Eric had volunteered always to pick him up on his way to work. The car he shared with his ex-fiancée, Barbara, was leased in her name. She took it with her. Eric had called that morning, telling Vick of his car problems, so he got ready and headed for the bus station. As he walked towards the bus station, Vick tried to bury his mind with thoughts that had nothing to do with his recent and depressive past. It was all to no avail. All of a sudden, a beautiful sight caught his attention.
She looks like her.
Vick referred to the day where he saw the girl that sat by the bar having dark liquor. As he drew closer, he knew for sure it was her. Now nervous and cautious that he forgot his thoughts.
Hello.
The lady said.
Oh, hi.
Vick gave a quick reply as he put his hands forward and smiled awkwardly. He was tongue-tied.
I am Lara Lace.
She said. Vick noticed her gorgeous ebony skin, perfect smile, straight white tooth, and a classy retro-modern look to her. Vick had a feeling of euphoria at the sight of her.
I have never seen my imagination come to life like this before.
Vick was surprised at his words. He said that in an attempt to keep the conversation going.
I like that. I am late right now, but you are buying me dinner at Eugenia's tomorrow. See you at 6 p.m.
She hopped on the bus that he was also supposed to take. Vick, for reasons strangely unknown to him, felt he had to go on the next one. The sales manager could not believe what had happened. For the first time, in a long time, Vick felt happy.
What are the odds? Could this be happening for real?
Vick talked to himself, which had now occurred more often than before the wedding incident. Vick thought he was dreaming for a moment. He couldn't wait to get to work. He told his friend, Eric, about his fortune.
Damn. Sure you didn't dream that?
Eric doubted.
Come on, man. Does it look like I would make something like this up?
With what you pulled with the whole lady panties thing, you might say anything to look good right now.
Vick realized Eric had a point.
All right, but I am having dinner with her tonight. Come check it out.
Now, I know you tripping. Just in case there is an ounce of truth in what you were saying, you might want to go get some less primitive clothes from the store.
Fuck you!
Vick replied as he walked away.
Yes. the first fuck you I have gotten in a while. You might be telling the truth.
Eric yelled. Vick smiled as he walked towards his own cubicle. As soon as Vick was out of sight, Eric dialed a number.
Hello. Hey, it's Eric. He is very excited about the date tonight.
Good. He is on the right road. Make sure you show up tonight.
The lady on the other end of the phone replied.
I cannot make it there tonight. I have somewhere to be. I will be there tomorrow.
Eric explained to Madman Gin.
Mr. Eric, you read and accepted our contractual offer, did you not?
Yes, but...
You have also collected part of your work's payment we have contracted you for, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Would you like me to tell you what your job is, Mr. Eric?
She asked sternly. Eric was about to reply when she continued.
Your job is to do what I tell you. And right now, you are being told to show up tonight. Can you handle that?
The phone dropped. Madman Gin is a ruthless movie director, infamous for the controversial movies she directs and produces. She has as many fans as she has haters of her work, but they all go to see her movies when it premieres. She started as an actress. Her career had successfully progressed since her first movie at the age of 17. She lied about her age and got the role meant for ages 21 and over. Gin spent most of her acting career performing in front of the audience. She was in her middle 30s when the decision to pursue a career of directing and producing movies happened. Later on, during an interview, Gin stated that her recent choice in profession suits her better. Over the years, her reputation as a brilliant director grew, and so did her fan base of crazy fanatics. Few of them, mostly extreme religious fanatics, had gone as far as threatening to kill her. Madman had produced and directed about 70 films, most of which are constantly testing the limits of what society deems acceptable. A lot of her movies are award-winning bestsellers. However, several of her movies are also prohibited in a lot of countries. Eric had gotten a rewarding opportunity. He had an offer to partake in one of Jin's unfiltered, uncensored, and secretly filmed reality television show that based its storyline on transforming an individual through any means necessary. For the project to work, Madman and her team needed a real-life story touching enough to get the intended audience attention. One of the project investigators and researchers had gotten a note of Vick's wedding. He sent the story in, and the project directors loved it. The show would be called Eternal Transformation. Their investigation showed Leroy and Eric were the only individuals in the wedding that came because of him and also fitted the friendship profile. Eternal Transformation sent an invitation to meet Eric. He was happy to meet with Madman Gin. She easily convinced Eric to play a role of Vick's best friend. Eric accepted the rewarding offer to help set his friend up to good and better things. The show began shooting as soon as Eric visited Vick. He was wearing a camera that was installed in one of the buttons on his shirt. At last minute that called for a new plan, Gin decided the only talent that could handle the project smoothly because of her smartness and an assertive good look was a new but talented actress named Lamilda Pira. She was the perfect fit for the role of Laura Lace. She was newly discovered and not popular. Madman was so impressed that she replaced the original actress that had been training for the role of the important character. Eric had done a good job of cheering Vick up and taking him to the club. All that while, Eric had a micro-video recording camera equipped into his shirt buttons. The room effects and lightings in the club helped Vick draw attention to Laura Lace. She played a bold character that the analysis showed Vick is highly attracted to. Eric and the two actresses whose characters portrayed gullible girls played their role well. Madman Gin thought the sex scene was important for marketing. The show was coming along as planned.
Arrange a meeting with marketing. Tell them to have the top 3 choices ready.
Madman Gin ordered as she walked towards the meeting room. She was meeting with some potential investors. Madman's reputation commanded the attention of many investors. She handpicks the best of them and arranges for a meeting. The lucky for this year were Mrs. Jackson Lane of Torrid Cinema Inc., Raji Seema of Central Broadcasting News Inc., Haitian Eastern, a very powerful and influential lawyer, and Sung Tin of Bell Investments Inc.
Thanks for staying tuned to Christus Publishers TV. Next updates for Super Eternal Transformation from the book Amazing Short Stories by Olamide Ojo is coming soon. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notify button to keep updated.